I'm Nancy Brusegaard Johnson, Senior Vice President of Human Resources and Operations at the Cooperative of American Physicians. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 human resources principles to protect your practice. Let's talk about the 5 principles. None of them are particularly sexy or unusual, but they do create a foundation for your medical practice to follow. The first principle: maintain human resources policies. Keep all of your policies in one place, perhaps putting them with your OSHA requirements, your office procedures, and your medical manuals. Make sure all of your new hires review the policies, read them thoroughly, and understand them. Once you've discussed the policies with your employees, have them sign off that they've read them. Update your policies as necessary. Make sure everyone signs off on the revised policy. Be proactive instead of reactive when it comes to creating policies. For instance, if all of a sudden you have an employee with an attendance problem, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to create a new attendance policy. Take a look at the situation and make a determination if in fact you need an entire policy for that issue. Finally, you can find policy samples online. If you're a CAP member, you can also go to the CAP Physicians website and download a human resources manual that you can customize for your practice. Principle number 2, hire the right people. Interview thoroughly. Talk less, listen more. Find out about your candidate. Past performance is the best indicator of future performance, so dig into that information. Find out about the skills, the knowledge, and previous successes of your candidate. Don't test or audition candidates. Don't ask them to come in for a half a day to work and then send them on their way. Once they come in for a half day, they're an employee and you need to pay them for that time. Ask unconventional questions. Stay away from hypothetical questions such as, where do you want to be in 5 years from now? When you ask a hypothetical question, you will get a hypothetical answer. And finally, don't hire just anyone. Find the best candidate for your vacancy. Principle number 3, maintain employee documentation. Keep job descriptions current, no more than 3 years old. Why, you might ask? Because positions change over time. Think how technology has changed the way we work. Certainly, at least review them. Perhaps there are no changes to be made, but you know that they're updated at that point. You can find sample position descriptions online. Employee files. Maintain appropriate documentation in those. Anything the employee has signed from the beginning of their employment to the end should be maintained in that file. Performance reviews, counseling documentation, enrollment forms, and any correspondence you've given the employee should be contained in the file. And finally, time and attendance records. Maintain those as long as you can and you have space for. In today's climate, wage and hour claims have become very popular and they're very difficult to defend unless you have all of your time and attendance records available. Principle number 4, treat all employees equally and with respect. How to do that? Set your expectations up front with each and every employee. What do you expect of them on a day-to-day basis? It can be as simple as telling them you need them to be there on time, take their breaks on time, and stay busy during the day. Be consistent. If one employee comes in tardy and you have to counsel that employee, you need to counsel them all if they come in late. Act quickly. Immediate feedback is always best, whether it's for corrective behavior or positive behavior. Watch out for the horn and halo effect. And you're wondering, what on earth is that? The horn and halo effect is something we do all the time without even realizing it. We've got one employee who's our superstar. She has a little halo over her head and she never does anything wrong. And when she does, we don't usually say anything because it's so rare. Then we have our other employee with the horn. That's our little devil employee who always does something wrong, never can do anything right. You need to be aware of how you treat those employees. Maybe when the horn employee does something right, you should say something positive and start focusing on their good behavior. Likewise, with the halo employee, when they do something that is not correct, you need to tell them. Remember to praise in public, correct in private. Never correct when someone's at the front desk checking in and you've got patients around. Do that later on. And remember, confidentiality is so important when you're dealing with employee issues. It's difficult to maintain confidentiality in a small practice, but do your best. The fifth principle, have a resource available to ask questions and for counsel. One of the resources I like to use is the California Chamber of Commerce. They've got great information on human resources, training classes, and they have a hotline. There are also government online resources available. Make sure the website is .gov and you'll know it's legitimate. Membership organizations such as the Society of Human Resource Management, or SHRM, and the Professionals in Human Resources Association, known as PIRA, provide publications and human resources classes that may be of interest to your administrators. And finally, there are classes available throughout the state, half-day classes and webinars. You can get a great deal of information at a low price. If you're a CAP member, you can call me, Nancy Brusegaard Johnson, and I'll discuss your human resources issues with you. If necessary, I can refer you to our employment attorney hotline.